All right, it's official. Bullheaded episode 1. We got this thing off the ground. Let's do it. I'm Chaz here with Bush and Zhu. And this is a monumental day because, as I mentioned, it's the launch of our second big video/pod series at Shared of Sports, Bullheaded Debates. We have had debate segments for a long time, and we're finally getting up to the actual live form. So, in this pod/video series, we're pretty much just going to be going head-to-head, Bush versus Zhu. 3 main topics every single week. So I will preface that. We'll get about 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes on each topic. And these guys won't know exactly if they agree on the topic or not. We really have no idea. So we're just going to see how things play out. So again, as I mentioned, we have Bush and we have Zhu. Pat, do you mind just introducing yourself first to everyone who's listening in?
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm Pat. I'm from Chicago, born and raised. Andy and I have known each other for a long time, and we love talking sports.
Yeah. And what about you, Zhu?
You're talking to a 4-time fantasy football champion, baby. So I know my football, NBA. God damn, my predictions are beautiful. So, I'm about winning, man. I'm about getting W's right now, man. I'm about getting W's right here, man. And we'll get a live on tape, so we got a record of my W's, my record of dubs, man. This is gonna be beautiful, man. I can't wait for this.
All right,
man, that's what I'm doing, man.
If that's not a preface of what this whole series is going to be like, then I don't know what will be. All right, so we'll just kick it off hot. No more need for introduction. Let's just go for it. I'll ask you guys 3 topics, and the first one of which is going to be a pretty hot topic debate. I think you guys actually have some pretty defined opinions in this one. First thing is first, 2020 NBA draft class. We just had it. The rookies had close to a full year of play. Who do you guys think is the best rookie in the class? Zhu, why don't you kick it off?
Man, it's easy. Zion Williamson, man. You're talking about a guy that is so athletically great that you can't compare this dude to anyone in the history of basketball. In the history of basketball, you can't compare anyone to this guy. He's a Charles Barkley with Dominique Wilkins hops. That's who he is, man. And he's not eating fries before games, man. He ain't getting drunk before games. So you got Charles Barkley that's on a strict diet, who's not drinking, eating unhealthy food. Dude, you're talking about a Hall of Famer. So this guy's floor is a Hall of Famer. That's his floor. His floor is a Hall of Famer. What's above that? One of the greatest players of all time, man. Zion Williamson. He could go down as one of the 10 greatest basketball players of all time.
All right, that's pretty enormous talk.
That's pretty big thing to say there, Zoo, with only playing 19 games, man. Come on. We all know the Jeremy Lin streak was 19 games.
I saw LeBron play 1 game against Sacramento, and I'm like, that's the guy. I need no more games, man. When you see greatness, easy, man. It doesn't take a blind man to know, man. Come on.
He's going to be a good player, man. I think you're right. I think, he's a Charles Barkley is a decent comparison for him. He's got the athleticism, same size as Barkley pretty much, and they were both dominant in the paint. But we just haven't seen anything of Zion. I mean, yeah, we saw, all right, he played 19 games. We're talking about rookie of the year. Who's the best rookie this year? It's a regular season award.
Ja's the best rookie because he played more games.
Exactly.
But if I'm starting a franchise, give me Zion. Give me Zion all day, every day, man.
You have to build every single position around Zion, man. You have a point guard in Ja Morant. Okay, he took a team that was 3rd bottom in the West last year, and they're possibly going to make the playoffs. The Pelicans have a shot too, and I'm interested to see what happens in July and August. But if I'm building a team, I want the guy with the chip on his shoulder, not the guy that has all the attention in the world. All right? We got a man coming out of Murray State. You know what that reminds me of? Damian Lillard out of Weber State, man.
Ooh.
Game winners in the playoffs. Give it to Ja.
Okay, that's a great comparison. Ja Morant to Damian Lillard came from a small school, point guard. He's going to have some nice playoff runs.
More athletic than Lillard, though.
Okay, he's more athletic. I think he could be a better player than Damian Lillard. But we're talking about Zion compared to LeBron, man.
Why are you comparing him to LeBron already?
Because he's 6'8", 6'6", 285. That's a physical freak. No, muscle.
For 6'6"?
Muscle. That
dude, he's overweight.
Muscle. Okay, he's thick, man. He's thick. He's big bone. That's why it's a little more heavier. But man,
yeah. You talk to his doctor?
This dude is getting comparisons to LeBron James. You can get your Dame Lillard comparison. Great player. That guy might be a future Hall of Famer. But we're comparing to LeBron James. Charles Barkley. These are top 50 greatest players of all time.
That's like comparing Zion to Magic Johnson, because LeBron James is a Magic Johnson. He runs the floor. He distributes.
Zion played point guard in middle school, man. He's got point guard.
He's 12. Still. He's 12.
Yeah.
12 years old. That man can't even run up and down the court with everybody else. You know who has a better motor than him? Joakim Noah had a better motor than Zion Williamson. Okay.
Joakim Noah. That's so
I'm just saying. I'm saying he's not. He's not a LeBron. He's a Charles Barkley, if anything, man. I'll give you that. He's not. He's not worthy yet.
Is Charles Barkley one of the 50 greatest players of all time?
Yeah, but he never won.
Exactly, because he was eating donuts before games. Man. Zion, I'll give him a health. If you get a nice doctor, give him a strict diet. Easy.
He probably won't even listen to it, man. Hey,
stop it.
Andy just had that scandal dropped miraculously by Duke in the NCAA.
Man. That's some jealous agent that wants some Zion checks, man. That's all it is, man. No one cares about that. We're talking about a guy that is so great that people just, man, this kid, I want his future earnings. That's pretty much what that person's saying. I want this dude's future earnings.
Well, LeBron lived up to it, man. Let's see if Zion can do it. I think he's going to have injury issues. I just think that's why I would build a team more so around Ja. I mean, Ja can only go up, man. He's just got a bulk. He's the lightest player in the NBA. Literally, he's 175 pounds. Okay?
I got one rule. Don't bet against greatness. You just don't do it.
You don't know if he's great or not. You're
yes, I do, man. This dude, as a rookie, 23.6 points per game.
19 games.
Do you know who's ever done that, man? In the modern NBA. So from the 80s onwards, Michael Jordan, and maybe LeBron was 25. Michael Jordan and David Robinson. Do you know what those guys have in common?
Hall of
MVPs and championships. MVPs and championships. So Zion Williamson, he's in that category. In the modern day era, 23.6 points. MJ, David Robinson, Zion Williamson.
The only thing I got to say, and I'll leave you with this last stat, Ja Morant had a double win share amount in the games that he played this year than Zion Williamson, meaning that
Zion played 19
personally.
Games,
so exactly my point. You just proved my point. He only played 19 games. So why are you making all these other comparisons if you can't give him credit for having a shitty win share?
It's called projection, baby. It's about projecting the future. Currently,
and his win share was
Ja Morant has a better resume. I give you that, but I'm projecting.
Yeah. I'm not projecting with his better resume. I'm just saying, hey, man, just watch out for him. He's a future league MVP.
Ja Morant?
Yes, sir. He carries his team. He's carrying a team that lost two. They were two All-Stars, Marc Gasol and Mike Conley. They lost from last year to this year. And Ja Morant is the only addition besides Jay Crowder. Okay? And that team is 500.
You're forgetting about Triple J, man. Jaren Jackson Jr., that dude has Defensive Player of the Year potential, elite three-point shooter for a big man, elite instincts.
He's 15 a game.
I was going to say.
That's like saying, all right,
he is an elite.
Lonzo.
Oh!
Exactly.
Lonzo!
They had the same impact. Hey, but I will say the Grizzlies went from the 29th worst defensive team to 3rd this year.
Triple J, man. You got a nice sidekick, man. You got a great sidekick.
He's got a great sidekick, and Ja Morant made him better.
That's true. I give you that. But we're talking about a guy that's so generationally great that, like, you put a heat map of NBA history, Zion's going to be on that heat map.
Yeah, for weight.
Michael Jordan. Oh, get out of here, man. That guy ain't going to be eating tacos before games, man. He's going to be on a good diet, man. No New Orleans food, man. None of that greasy stuff. Just give him some salads, chicken salad. He's good, man.
All right. We'll see how Zion's weight holds up because apparently that's a big piece of this. So
really
we'll see. I'm just going to say before we move to the next topic, a lot of love lost for my guy, RJ Barrett. I don't know why he's not.
Yeah, that's true. Rip the Knicks, man. Rip the Knicks.
RJ Barrett has been a scrub for a rookie.
Oh, that is such a joke, Andy.
Have you seen his numbers? He is statistically the worst shooter, like one of the worst shooters in the NBA. Free throw, 3-point percentage based on qualified players. He's in the bottom 10.
Dude, he was like on his stat line of like LeBron. I wish I had my phone right now, dude, because I did not prepare for a whole argument about RJ Barrett, but I'll come prepared next time.
That dude
is the wrong term.
That dude is.
We'll talk about the Knicks in another segment. They need their own 20 minutes, man.
Okay, he's not a scrub. He's irrelevant.
Oh, that's much
maybe in
better.
that debate. Yeah.
He's irrelevant.
Okay.
He's
Next
a nobody.
topic.
He's a nobody.
NBA. Next topic is 95-96 Bulls or 15-16 Warriors. Obviously, we know 95-96 Bulls, that was like the end of their reign. They won 72 games, set a league high record at that point, won a championship. Then come 20 years down the line exactly, you have Golden State without Kevin Durant winning 73 games, but an all-important distinction, no ring. Who will you take? Who do you think is the better dynasty there?
Okay, I'm going to switch up the question because the 72 win team, that's just a better team. They're more physically better, defensively, mental toughness. Like they could have shut down like Steph Curry in the playoffs, very physically weak basketball player. He's just a physically skinny dude that's a finesser. Like physicality, the Bulls would have shut him down. We should be talking about that Warriors team with Kevin Durant because I'm taking that team in the first year over the 72-10 Chicago Bulls. Who's going to guard Kevin Durant?
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
The guy that quit. The guy that quit against the Knicks.
The guy that has 6 rings.
Kevin Durant will force Scottie Pippen to go to retirement after guarding that dude. 6'11", shooting 30-foot three-pointers. That dude's the greatest offensive player I've ever seen in my entire life. Scottie Pippen would have been crying to MJ. That's all I got to say. No one's had ever seen a guy like Kevin Durant play basketball. He is Dirk with handles. Athletic Dirk with handles. Scottie Pippen.
He's also a baby, man. He'd get mentally abused by those Bulls. Abused physically, mentally, and emotionally, man. Dude, they'd get under his skin. That guy cries after nothing. Okay? He had to leave. He joined a team that absolutely came back from 3-1 against him. You want to talk about the 15-16 Warriors. They came back and crushed Durant after being down 3-1, and he choked it. Along with Russ, I'll give him that. But Durant had to join.
Has an IQ
had to join the best
Russ
team
is
ever.
the stupidest basketball player I've ever seen in my entire life. He is so talented, but an IQ of a chicken.
He averages a triple-double all the time.
Talent, not IQ.
He's talent, but he's not. He doesn't have high basketball IQ.
He got small brain.
I'll give you the point there.
He's a dodo bird, man. He's a dodo bird playing basketball.
I'll give you that.
That's
but my point.
left.
Dude, oh no! All right, sure. He could have. Yeah, he left, but he went and joined the team that beat him.
That's my point. That's why they are. That's why they're so good. You have a 72-win team. You get rid of Harrison Barnes, the biggest scrub I ever seen.
Agreed. I was going to make fun of him.
Kevin Durant. That dude drops 30 in his sleep, man.
Dude, and the crazy thing is, the Bulls had what? They probably had 3 people that could give Durant a hard time. They couldn't shut him down. No one shuts Durant down, just like they don't shut Jordan down and they don't shut LeBron down. That argument is out the door. Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen. Those guys fought over guarding the best player when they were on. You saw what they did to Tony Kukoc, man. I'm not comparing the two. But they, no, I did not. I did not. I'm saying their mentality. Their mentality of wanting to just beat down their opponent. You think the Warriors did that, man? They're like, nah, we'll just shoot them out of the gym. The Bulls were number 1 in offensive efficiency and number 1 in defensive efficiency in 95-96.
Have they ever played a guy that's as good as Kevin Durant?
They were that team.
Kevin Durant. The dude averaged 35 points on LeBron James.
LeBron's defense has fallen off since he
not in the playoffs.
Mid-heat.
That's when he tries. Regular season, he sucks at defense. But in the playoffs, he flips that switch. He starts trying.
All right,
and
he had
Durant dropped 35 on that dude. 35, and it was an easy 35.
Doesn't matter if Jordan drops 50.
Yes,
I'm saying the Bulls would diminish the Warriors enough where they could surpass them. That's what they did.
No,
the Supersonic
MJ will get his. He get his 50, 45. He'll be balling.
Yeah,
but Scottie Pippen.
All you got to do is cancel out Steph and Clay, and they got 2 all-defensive first-team players in Ron Harper and Scottie Pippen to guard those 2.
You're acting like Klay Thompson's the slouch on defense. That dude's all NBA defender.
I'm not talking about guarding the Bulls. I'm talking about the Bulls guarding the Warriors.
Yeah.
The Bulls could easily guard the Warriors.
They could go 5 out, man. You put Iggy, the death lineup, Luke Longley.
Yeah, he blocks some shots, man.
Against 3-point shooters.
I think the thing you have to clarify
all day, man.
I think the thing you have to clarify, though,
Luke
is
Longley
which rule
would
you're
not play in the
playing.
NBA against the Golden State Warriors. That dude will play 0 minutes.
No, Pat,
0
good
minutes.
point, though. Oh,
What?
if we're playing in the 90s versus we're playing in today's era.
We're playing in today's era. We're playing
Why
in
do you
today's
automatically assume that?
Era.
Because you know that they would lose in the 90s?
Yeah.
Or do you think that Jordan would get to the free throw line even more now? Oh,
Okay,
easily.
Jordan,
the man would average 42 in the regular season in the NBA.
He can
right
average
now.
40 points. But I'm telling the rest of that team on offense was not that good. Jordan was a one-man army playing with a bunch of bums on offense, man. Scottie Pippen.
You realize
Dennis
ESPN
Rodman,
ran a simulation on this,
Longley,
right?
the bunch of donuts on offense, man. But Dennis Rodman ain't getting buckets. Luke Longley ain't getting buckets.
He doesn't need to get buckets.
Ron Harper ain't getting buckets. It's just
I
MJ
completely
being
forgot
like,
about Rodman, too.
yeah, exactly, because he's irrelevant on offense. Great defense. We're talking about offense. And you saw those teams struggled on offense against those Jazz teams, those Pacers, those
And they still
Knicks.
won. Against the best offense in the league.
Because you got Kevin Durant with his sidekick, Steph Curry.
Who chokes in the playoffs, let's be honest.
The greatest shooter of all time is the
Not in the
second
playoffs.
best player.
All right, I'm going to give you some stats right here.
28 points.
I'm going to give you some stats right here. Let's just go back to 15-16 right here, just for the sake of playoff performances, all right? Curry averaged 30 that year in the regular season on 50% shooting.
Yeah.
Guess what he averaged in the finals against the Cavs?
I can't. It was a low 20s. It was low
22 on 40% shooting overall, not threes. Overall, Klay Thompson, his points per game dropped by 4 points, and his field goal percentage dropped by 7. They do not like the pressure, man.
Kevin Durant likes the pressure.
That's fine.
Kevin Durant loves the pressure. That dude's like LeBron, drain a 3 right in front of his face, game 3. I'm like, God damn, that was cold, man.
But you know who? But you know who?
If he could do it against LeBron, he could do it against Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen got nothing on him, man. KD might average 40 on that.
Scottie is a better defender than LeBron. Let's be honest here. If you say otherwise, that's blasphemous, man. Scottie Pippen is arguably a lot of NBA players say he's the best wing defender
offense,
ever.
Man. Scottie Pippen on offense. I'm like, there's an APB out. I'm like, where's Scottie Pippen? Like the dude drops 8 points in the finals. Like
like LeBron?
Oh my God, man. Kevin Durant.
Everyone has a bad game, man. But you know who never had a bad game in the finals?
Michael
the
Jordan.
Bulls.
No, Michael Jordan. No, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was playing with a bunch of bums on offense.
For example,
bunch of nobodies.
Yo, all right. 15-16, just for the sake of argument, all right? They won 73 games and lost 9. How many playoff games did they lose in that year?
They lost a lot.
They lost 9.
Yeah,
they lost the same amount that they did in the playoffs as they did in the regular season. The Bulls lost 10 games, and they lost 3 games in that final stretch. All right?
I agree with you. That team's better than that team. That's why they got Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant added to that team was the greatest cheat code of all time, man. It was so unreal. It was like NBA 2K in life. You just turned those trades off, man. You had Kevin Durant for Harrison Barnes. That's what happened. Harrison Barnes sucks so much that they got this dude that's unbelievable. He has no weaknesses in his game. No weaknesses. Kevin Durant has 0 weaknesses in his game.
His defense.
No. That dude was a shot blocking machine, man, on the Warriors. He was playing center. He was playing center.
That doesn't mean shit.
That dude, long arms, playing defense. He was a way better defender on the Golden State Warriors. Because he's just like, man, I can play defense because I got so many people on offense to play with, man. I got Steph Curry, I got Klay Thompson, I got Andre Iguodala. My Lord, that team was so good, man. It was unfair. It was unfair, man.
We got to circle over to the last topic. Andy, I know you can go on and on about Kevin Durant, apparently. It's clear. I think you guys are both taking the Bulls there, but I don't know about what happens when you go to the next year, Kevin Durant. That seems to be the big debate here.
Mm-hmm.
So, final topic. This is moving out of basketball. We're going to go to the NFL. This has been a long time coming with some experimentation with football going to London, football going to Mexico City. I don't know where else they're trying to plan it, but the question being, should the NFL expand internationally? Yes or no? Pat, why don't you kick it off first?
I think this is an interesting question. And when it was posed, I mean, like you said, Chaz, they've been experimenting forever. I mean, they had NFL Europe back in the 90s into the mid 2000s, and that failed miserably. I mean, I was reading something today that Roger Goodell, I mean, the reason they shut it down, I believe in like 2007 was it was losing like $30 million a year. And I just think that they've been trying to, at least on the European side, they're trying to not force, but, kind of push the NFL down their throats, especially because they're into like rugby, things like that, other physical sports. So I can see their draw, but I think the only way you could really start is you'd have to start in Canada or maybe Mexico City. But I know, they've talked about safety being an issue down there in Mexico City. For players being there and hosting games every week, but also travel is just a big thing. So I think that you'd have to start in Canada just because other sports leagues do have a presence there. And I just think, the taxes can be an issue. I know players have an issue with that, but my personal belief is if anything, you got to start in Toronto or Vancouver. I think
you think they should try.
Yeah, I think they should give it a shot, but don't just put, maybe start with just one team in Canada. Don't put 3 teams, 2 in Canada and 1 in Mexico City. Start with 1, see how it goes, see how the players react, how travel is affected, and just kind of see how it plays out, not creating a whole nother European league like they did, 20 so years ago.
All right. So we have maybe the Toronto Raptors football version. Zoo, You seem to be shaking your head. Why?
NFL, American football. That's the name, man. American. It ain't going to Europe. They got soccer. Soccer will always be a more dominant sport over there because it's ingrained in their culture. So if you try to go over there, man, people would be laughing at the NFL trying to go over there. They're going to be losing money. They could try to get fans over there, but it's ingrained in their culture. They are diehard soccer fans, the rest of the world. It's only America that likes NFL.
But the CFL's in Canada. They have American football.
Okay. Canada, I can see. But if you want the market in Europe, which is a way bigger market, it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
I agree with Andy on that.
So in Mexico, if you want it, but I feel that's so immaterial. I'm like, whatever. How much more money can they make by going down to Mexico and Canada? And Canada's a hockey town too. So it's just it's their culture. Hockey's in their blood. And you see NFL up there, I'm like, And it'll dilute football too, man. Having expansion teams, get 2 expansion teams. There's a lot of bad quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
And true. Football is unwatchable if the QB sucks. It just is. I don't want to watch defense and guy throwing picks. I don't want to see Geno Smith start in the NFL. I can't watch Mitchell Trubisky
be better this year.
Oh my Lord!
Debate on its own.
Different topic.
Trubisky.
I agree with you, Andy. I agree with you on the core, diluting. I think that's a really good point too. They haven't expanded since the Texans in 2000, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So it's been 20 years. That's a long time. And I know. I don't know, across other sports. Have there been any other expansions in recent years, like baseball or? I guess the Vegas Knights in hockey, was a big one.
If you consider the Supersonics moving as an expansion, that's kind of one, but it's just going into different territory.
Yeah, it was just kind of moving, which they obviously have done a couple times in the NFL, with San Diego and Las Vegas and LA and all that.
But what if that's the method of expansion? They talked about moving the Jaguars or someone else maybe to London. And I know Shad Khan had said maybe he would want to keep the team in Jacksonville. But what if it's a current team going out of a smaller market and moving to a huge one in like London?
I think that would be better than adding a completely new team and doing an expansion draft and all that. That's just a lot of extra work. But I think to Andy's point with London, they do fill Wembley Stadium when the NFL's there, but could they do it week to week?
Week to week, nah.
And would fans travel? London's the only European location, in my opinion. From New York, that's a 6.5 hour flight. LA, you're talking 10 hours. That you go any further east into Europe, dude, you're pushing it. So it's do you really just want one team in Europe and then just kind of leave it for another 20 years? Or are you actually going to try and do something with this? Which is what they tried to do with the NFL Europe, and that just botched.
Nah, that ain't working. That ain't working.
So I agree with Zoo. You can't just have one team. You gotta stay within North America, maybe start there, and then kind of see if it does gain more international appeal over the
NFL
years.
Regular season. I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect sport.
You think so?
I think it's perfect. As a regular season sport, I think it's perfect. The number of games, 17 week, the number of teams, the competitiveness, the randomness with teams winning, I think it's perfect that they don't need to add more. They already have 32 teams already.
32.
So, yeah, that's a lot already.
The only thing I'd change is the seeding in the playoffs, which I know we had talked about. I just hate the whole like division leaders automatically, right? The NFC East is always trailing 8-8, 9-7, and then they're just pulling in the 4th spot, right? Whereas teams that are going 11 and like when the Bears, they went 12-4, man, but they didn't win, or they did win the division. Sorry, but no, like or it might have been the Packers, whatever. But
they won 10. Bears won 10 games 1 year.
Yeah, and they just had no chance. And so I think that the NFL is, I would say, it's pretty well set up. To Andy's point,
it's beautiful.
I just think they could make a couple tweaks to make it more interesting. I know that they talked about adding or playing all 17 games.
They got one error: overtime rules. You got to give each team one shot to score a touchdown.
Agreed. Like college.
It robbed my man Patrick Mahomes 1 year. It robbed my man Aaron Rodgers 1 year.
That won me some money.
No more Tebow magic there. I mean, that was ridiculous.
Hell of a play. That's legendary. Demaryius Thomas, right?
Yep, Demaryius Thomas wide open.
Rip the Steelers.
Well, you guys made me think of a pretty good follow-up debate for next week. I'm not going to spoil it right now. I want you guys to think about it. I'll tell you separately. But
sounds good.
Guys, that was a pretty good episode 1. We've proved at the end, too, we could have some civilized debate. It doesn't have to be all fire fest over here. But
only the NBA.
NBA is uncharted territory.
Of course.
But guys, we are at our time. That was episode 1 of Bullheaded. Season 1, episode 1, I should say. I've been Chaz here with P. Bush and Zoo. We'll be back next week, same time. Expect some hot debates coming up. So until then, next Thursday, guys, stay safe. We love you, and we will talk to you soon.
Later, guys.
See you guys.